to my channel, the Baking Diva. I'm coming to you today with a very, very easy recipe. Most of us are still on quarantine or lockdown from that darn coronavirus, and we're probably doing a little bit more cooking than we usually do. So I decided to bring to you something that you can whip up in no time at all, and most of the time you'll have your ingredients right in your pantry. So I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all safe, and now we're going to get started. So what am I making for you today? Well, making for you the most famous sauce. That's a tomato sauce created by Marcella Hazan. She was a famous Italian cookbook author. She has authored many cookbooks, but this recipe was probably her easiest and most sought after because it's so simple. You actually only need 3 ingredients to make it. The sauce is made all in one pan. You don't have to stand over it and watch it. No, 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 no. Once it's cooked, it's hands off. And lastly, it tastes amazing. So I'm going to show you how we do it now. First thing you're going to need is obviously a pot. Some type of a sauce pot. Let me take my spoon out of there. It doesn't have to be real big unless you're going to double the recipe. Obviously, then you'll need a bigger one. If you're making tomato sauce, and this sauce is perfect, it's not going to be a substitute for your hearty meat sauce. No, this is a basic tomato sauce that works great on spaghetti, raviolis, pizza. You can use it when you make lasagna. But the one thing you definitely need for this sauce, and don't substitute it because I've tried substitutes and they're not as good. You need a San Marzano peeled tomatoes, not the imitation ones. It has to say on the can, San Marzano peeled tomatoes. This brand I happen to have purchased in Trader Joe's, but there are other brands. As long as they're the San Marzano, product of Italy, and they're peeled tomatoes, not imitations. So you'll need that. The next thing you're going to need is a half of a yellow onion. This onion was large, so I'm going to cut this in half. All right. No need to chop it. Just a half of the onion. And lastly, and you're going to say, when I tell you this, Diva, are you cray-cray or what? But I'm not. And lastly, you're going to need 5 tablespoons of butter. Yes, you heard me right. Now you're thinking, wow, this girl is cray-cray. She's going to put butter in this sauce? Well, take my word for it. The butter immersed in there with that onion and the tomatoes give the sauce a nice velvety texture. It's perfect. It's the perfect ingredient for it. So I'm going to take my saucepan, and in there I'm going to put my full can, and this happens to be a 28-ounce can. I'm going to put this into my saucepan, the whole thing. I'm going to just take my spoon and I'm just going to break up those tomatoes a little bit in there. The idea behind this sauce is that you combine the tomatoes with that onion and the butter, and it gives it a nice red velvety flavor to it. Okay. Next, you're just going to, in one piece, put in your half of an onion, and You're going to take your 5 tablespoons of butter and put that right in there. And that is all there is to it. My only change to this recipe is at the end, I usually put a little black pepper in it and a little salt. So other than that, it's your 3 ingredients. Your San Marzano peeled tomatoes, your 5 tablespoons of butter, and your half of an onion. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this on your stove. You're going to put it on medium heat, and you're going to cook it until the tomatoes start to bubble. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lower your heat, and you're going to continue cooking it, stirring it maybe about every 10 or 15 minutes. That's all. Just stir it in there. Some people don't even bother. Some people just leave it on there, and after the 45 minutes, it's done. But I like to check it once in a while. Just give it a little stir. And then once the butter melts, separates from those tomatoes, and there's really no liquid in there, then it's done. So let me go over to the stove now, get it cooking, and as soon as it's done, I'm going to show you what we do next. So don't you go away. So here it is in the saucepan on the stove, and I can hear the tomatoes bubbling. I'm going to let them bubble just for another minute or so. There you go, it's bubbling. I'll try to get in a little closer. Those tomatoes are bubbling. So I'm just going to lower the heat now and let it simmer. While I was in Trader Joe's the other day, I picked up a few things, and one of them was this sweet Italian sausage and 4 cheese ravioli. Sounded really good. It was in the refrigeration department. So we're going to have our tomato sauce with that tonight for dinner. Next to my sauce that's cooking, I have my pot of water that I'm going to cook my raviolis in. Just thinking about it is making me hungry. You can see how that butter is starting to melt now. Smells yummy. Okay, it looks like this is almost done. Now you have to remember that this tomato sauce is what I consider a base sauce. So I mean, once it's cooked, you can feel free if you like to add anything to it. But I'm going to have it just the way it is. Okay, so the sauce looks all done to me. So what you want to do now is you want to remove your onion. So you're going to take your onion out, and you can either discard it or you can save it and you can use it for something else, whichever you prefer. The sauce smells delicious. I'm going to read you a little saying about this sauce, because as I mentioned to you, it's a base sauce. Once it's all cooked, feel free to add cooked sausage to it or a couple of cooked meatballs or whatever you want. But the idea of it is to just whip up a nice, easy sauce. And this sauce, they say, there's a quote about this sauce, and I'll read it to you now. It says, "The simplicity of this sauce allows the primary ingredients, that's the tomatoes and the pasta, to shine. The onion is just a whisper, not a shout out. And the butter, astonishingly, adds a luxurious, velvety taste and a feeling that perfectly complements the tomatoes." So we're going to see if that's true or not. So let me go over there and get my plate of raviolis, and we're going to do a taste testing, so don't go away. Okay, the tomato sauce is all done. I'll just try to show you the thickness of it. It's like pulpy. They say that if you want it like a thin consistency, you could put an immersion blender in there, but I like it just the way it is. And as you can see, look at this. I have my plate of Italian sausage stuffed raviolis. with the sauce on it. And some have a blend here of sliced, let me see, Asiago, Romano, and Parmesan cheese. So before I do my taste testing, I guess I should remind you all that if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more of these recipes, go down below and hit that red subscribe. And there's a little bell next to it. Hit the bell, I think twice, and it'll say all. And then every time I have a new video up, you'll get a notification. And that's all there is to it. And I really appreciate all my subscribers because it really does help my channel to grow. So I'm salivating here. Let me taste one of these raviolis and I'll let you know how this sauce tastes. Alrighty. It's very good. So really get raviolis, but they're both delicious. So, you want to save yourself a few pennies. You want to make yourself a nice 3-ingredient fresh tomato sauce. Give this a try. I think you're going to like it. So for now, the cameraman and I are going to sit down and have our dinner. So everyone, stay healthy, stay well, stay safe. Love you all. Until next time. Toodles!